Hi, this is Mike with Karcheckz. I'm here at this 2023 Audi RS7 and I'm doing a pre-purchase inspection. And as I walk around the vehicle, I'll point out things I notice, and thanks for watching. So the vehicle is currently running and it sounds great. By the way, I got it in the performance mode. So that's what the exhaust sounds like. And here we're moving along the front, and some things I wanted to point out here. We've got this bottom piece that's broken, and the salesperson said they were going to replace it. Noticing some small little imperfections to the light, and plus it's a little dirty. It needs to be cleaned a little better. Looks like somebody might have been driving it a little. Just those are bugs. But this right here is a chip. A couple small little scratches coming across here. A little hard to see. A small chip there. This vehicle is like a gray color and it has a nice shiny finish to it, and it does not have any metallic. Alright, driver's front tire made in 22, and this is a Continental. Sitting right about 530 seconds, and the tire looks like it's wearing good and even. And here's a look at the front brake pad and rotor, which they're in really good condition, by the way. Caliper looks nice. And some of this here is like road debris, you know, looks like it would just wipe off some of that anyway. It looks kind of like road tarry. It's not really any chips, it's what I'm telling you there. Same thing. So just needs a little more cleaning, but these panels look great. And this right here is some kind of sticky residue too. Would clean off. And got some other stickers from here and there. Windshield looks pretty good. Alright, so one thing I'm noticing right now is this wiper blade is actually broken. So definitely needed new ones. Alright, this tire is made in 21. It's same brand as the other front. Got a little curb rash there. There's a chip there. It's like 630 seconds. Still good and usable. Brake pad and rotor looks good. Has a lot of life left. Alright, one thing I'm noticing, it kind of looks like somebody may have spray painted the tips here a little bit. Doesn't really seem to be the original finish on it. It's hard to say. Alright, and the rear bumper here has some scratches. There's some right here. Looks like they were putting something in and out. You can see how the paint kind of went funky. It sounds great though. Alright, this one requires 91 octane. This door area could be cleaned a little better. Here's the passenger rear tire made in 21. It's like about 530 seconds. Still good and usable. Here's a look at the brake pad and rotor. Looks good. I'd say these pads are still about 80% life. These These ones here got a lot to lift. And everything looks good there. And right here is a pretty good sized little ding. It's about as big as my flashlight size right here. You can see that. Here's the passenger front wheel and tire. This one's made in 21. It's like 5/32. Still good and usable. Here's a look at the front brake pad and rotor. And these pads got at least 80% left as well. Looks great. Alright, looks like some small little scratches right here on this trim that might actually buff out. It's hard to say. But they are here, and then maybe some right in there. If you can see that.
So the customer asked us, did you fix it? I said, no, we sent it to the dealership. Can we take it right now?
And right here on the passenger side quarter panel's got a little bit here. And this may buff out. If you could see that. There's a line going here, one there, a couple here, and then this one right there. And right here is like a small line, hard to see. And that right there as well might buff out. It's very small. Okay, so first of all, this is the readiness test, which it's good to go if you went to go get your emission testing. There's nothing in the PCM showing any conflict there, and it's ready. All monitors ready. Alright, so I did an OBD scan, and so these are all the modules, and green are good and red means that it has a code. And here we got the mileage, which the PCM is a mile off, which is not anything to worry about. Alright, and so here it is, the scan report, and a copy has been sent to the customer. So I'm not exactly going to go and name everything off, I'm just going to scroll through. Alright, so those codes have been emailed to the customer, and we'll continue with the inspection. Alright, and here's a look under the hood. As you can see, the vehicle is still running. All the fans are working. Engine sounds good. I don't notice any modifications right here. First of all, I'd like to point out no aftermarket tube or anything. And then right here looks like the factory, the catalytic converter as well. These bolts and everything, they look to be intact. Nothing missing. And here's a look inside of the engine, which the engine does look good and clean. Perhaps they probably change the oil pretty regularly, but it is due for an oil change. You can see the oil right there is in a dark color. So I believe that we're due for an oil change, but whoever had it did change the oil. Noticing a little bit of corrosion under there. Looks like perhaps it might have been driven up north for a short period of time. I'll have to look underneath. And there's like a little discoloration here for some reason. Some chalky residue. And a little oil and dirt built up right here. So I think it maybe been a cleaner, maybe somebody was doing, or like I say, it might have been up north here. I'll have to keep looking. See, this right here is a little, maybe they were shining it or something. I don't know. It's hard to say why it's got that oil and dirt built up, to be honest. I was speaking for this area here, and right here is a little bit of oil and dirt built up. Needs cleaned, and then the chalky residue a little bit here on the metal. But everything here looks good as far as that goes. I don't see any modifications. Looks to be original. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just needs cleaning so far. Alright, so I removed the cover here. These turbos look to be the original ones. And here is a look underneath the vehicle. There's some more of that white chalky residue coming down there. Just a little bit of corrosion there on the axles. And this one here has the original suspension. I don't notice any leaks from here. Alright, one thing I want to point out here on this tire, I just noticed there's a chunk missing out of this. Is the passenger front tire. And just tiny little bit of rash right there. But you'll need a new tire. It looks like somebody had worked on this wheel before. Looks like it had some damage and they sanded it and buffed it out a little bit there. And there's some work done here too, right there on that wheel part. Alright, and I'm noticing here more. Oh, this wheel's had a lot of work done actually. There's a lot of curb rash that was grinded off. But they didn't do a bad job. But you can see it. You can see the difference in the finish, where they did the sanding and where they didn't. But it's hard to see from a distance, really. I didn't really get on it until I got on it. And this one's on the back wheel. The back wheel's got a little scratch coming across. And this on the driver's side back. And back to the driver's side front. there's been a little work in here as well. Now that I'm on it looking. They sanded it and they buffed it out. There was some obvious little scratches or imperfections they were trying to improve. But it did change the finish. And from a distance you don't notice it. It's one of those, you gotta get up on it. And here's another spot on the wheel right here where it kind of like dips down. It was grinded there. And it does look normal here. All these parts look original. And noticing just a little bit of corrosion on some of the metals there. Not much though. All these bolts look good and they would come off. Alright, perhaps we take a look under the back now. Alright, here I'm noticing the factory exhaust. And here I'm noticing a little more corrosion in the back. And those bolts here with rust on them a little bit, as you can see. And this is where you would do your rear alignment. So at some point you may have to replace that hardware. And a little bit of corrosion in the hub. See it up in there. And there's some rust accumulating there. And some more rust. This is the rear. And those servos, actuators there, have rust on those. There's the rear differential. There's a look at the rear axle. And there's some other rust that's forming in that area. Alright, so now moving on to the inside. As you can see, it's still somewhat dirty. Just a little bit of debris here on the seat, but the seat material is in excellent condition. The steering wheel looks great. As you can see there, needs cleaned. Power steering column works. And windows work. change due indication. Alright, looks like we need some fuel. That speaker's making a little bit of popping noise. Alright, so the driver's door speaker sounds like it's starting to go out, the woofer portion. We'll need to replace that if you don't want to hear any crackling. But at a lower volume it won't do it. It's only when you blast it. Here we got the outlets working. All this is in good condition. And the AC blows nice and cold. And we got rear AC too. Back power outlet works. And here's a look at the back seat and seat belts. Everything looks to be in excellent condition. And it looks like, I'm not sure, that might be some discoloration. Let's see. Could have been from a cleaner. It may come off, it's hard to say, but that is there. And noticing here on the seat is a little chalkiness, a little dirty. And looks normal there. Coming around. Trunk area looks pretty clean. Power outlet works. Alright, this vehicle is not a spare tire kind of vehicle, but it does have the pump and some other tools that come with it and from the factory. Power closure works. Noticing a little stain here. This is something that would definitely want to have cleaned. The screen functions well. I don't notice any abnormalities. All the controls on the heating panel are functional and they respond very well. No issues. Alright, and so here I've been presented with this one key fob, and it has some small scratches on it. And it seems to function well. Everything works for that purpose. Alright, here we're showing a long-term memory of 19.5 miles per gallon. Alright, we'll take it out for a test drive here. And the vehicle does handle very nice. I could hardly hear the road. has nice braking. And we'll do a U-turn here. It has great acceleration. Alright, so the vehicle did shift through all the gears fine, and I didn't notice anything abnormal on the test drive. Alright, so that concludes the pre-purchase inspection on this 2023, it's a Audi RS7 here at Gravity Autos. And I want to thank you for watching. If you find this video helpful, we appreciate a thumbs up, and thanks. Have a great day.